A lovely and warm welcome yet again to another episode of Love Therapy. We're so glad you could join us. When we did start with this program, there were a lot of voices to say, well, it's too late. But those of us that stay awake up to this time, I feel by now we know that there is a reason why this program comes that late. This is because we want to freely discuss issues that are meant to cement our relationships, especially a marriage setup. But of course, on this program, we will try as much as we can to also consider the young people who are still setting up in terms of relationships. That's the reason why it's Love Therapy. I am so excited. The feedback that we are receiving, this is just amazing, and I pray that we are going to continue getting interactive. One thing I need to make clear on this program is that it's also about you. Write to us on the information that is scrolling right on the bottom, at the bottom of your screen, so that we get to hear your situation. My guest, who is a counselor, will be able to provide a bit of some help if possible regarding your situation, and so we call that an advice corner. And so feel free to write to us because we want to hear what you have to say. We have received some letters in the episodes that are coming probably after this one, maybe another one. We should be able to bring forth that particular letter on that episode so that we get to hear, but we'll be also sharing with you. This program airs both on television as well as Facebook, and not forgetting our YouTube channel. So you do well to subscribe to our channel, like the Facebook page, and we should be able to get interactive. My name is Bright Sinkos, and my guest, like always, is Dr. Daniel Chunga, who is our counselor on this program. Doc, I'm so excited to have you. Welcome to Love Therapy.
Oh, thank you, Bright, and greetings, dear viewers.
All right. There are a number of people that are actually very excited about this program, and others in other episodes were saying, we want Dr. Chunga's line. I know how busy your office is, but maybe moving forward, we are going to create a specific number so that we get concerns and share them with you on this particular concerns that people have, because others want to talk to you one-on-one.
They are welcome.
Oh?
No secret about it.
Yeah. You've heard it for yourselves. So in case you want to reach out to Dr. Chunga, we'll provide contact details that you're supposed to use and make an appointment so that you meet Dr. Chunga. There is another woman that is about to get married, but then observed some red flags in the man that she wants to marry, and so she came right at the office. We are going to share that experience in the other episodes, so that we can see how best we can handle that. There are a lot of things that people are going through, and Love Therapy is one platform that they can use to speak out and then probably find a solution. But that's not what we are discussing today. Today we are discussing, Doc, conflicts.
Yes.
But as we are discussing conflicts, I think our interest is managing these conflicts. Conflicts are there, but how do we manage them? So our topic says managing conflicts. That's our topic of discussion today. And so, just at the onset,
yes,
marriages, relationships, can we avoid conflicts?
Oh, no. The answer is capital N-O. Because conflicts are inevitable in any healthy relationship.
Even for a Christian?
Oh, yes.
Even a pastor like you?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Not that conflicts are negative.
Okay.
Conflicts help us to make adjustments so that the relationship can move in the right direction. And marriage was only to be enjoyed without conflicts before sin came into this world. But after sin came into this world, even childbearing, it's a hassle.
Yeah.
Even looking for food, you have to sweat. So even marriage relationship, you just have to manage conflicts. You know, someone said, sorry for stepping on your toys. It's because you brought your foot too close to me. So conflicts are expected in any given marriage relationship. What is important is how do you manage those conflicts?
And that's what we want to discuss.
And you know, the media today are revealing shocking incidences of brutality and murder. People are dying. Husband and wife differ. They pour hot water or cooking oil.
Cooking oil.
Yeah, someone is maimed. And that is the talk of the day. And nowadays young men are saying, if you differ with your wife and you see her going to the kitchen, use the back door.
Run for your life.
Because you don't know what she will come up with.
Yeah.
So, conflicts are there. And also, some homes are turned into like major street courts. Every day, one has to testify, has to give evidence of innocence.
Why did you do this?
Why did you come late? What is this mess and so forth? Now, conflicts will always come. Whether we are born again Christians, because of proximity between husband and wife.
Does this then justify where people were worried during the COVID days? Say, now that there is COVID, hapa izavutako. Because kungana na mkazi wangu hapa nyumba the whole day.
Yeah, it's possible because when you are too close to your mate, chances of frictions are there.
Right.
And sometimes those couples that stay one in another town, another one, sometimes they can live longer happily because they don't know the nitty-gritties that are happening within the confinement of their home. Nonetheless, conflicts are there. We just have to know how to manage them. Of course, there are primitive ways of handling conflicts. We have seen people who fight, survival of the fittest. A problem arises in a home, they resort to fighting. Whoever is beaten is wrong. Another primitive way is that of using charms. If the husband is fond of going out, or if the wife is fond of flirting around, the partner will use charms to cripple probably the husband. So that if the husband goes to another woman, there is blackout. There is hydro. Yes. Yes. When he goes home, things are up and running. So there are some who solve problems of that nature by going into love portions, so that the man is under petticoat government or the wife has no say.
Do as I say.
Yeah, that's quite primitive.
I read somewhere where this woman is selling some products.
Yes.
And then she's saying, somebody writes and say, I have a problem. I don't know how to control my husband. And I say, no, I have the charms. I have what they could do as I say.
Yeah.
The moment you administer that to your husband, then it is sit here, stand up, and he will obey.
Oh yeah, I've seen such things. I was seeing such a couple in Northwestern Province. I think there was overdose on the husband. When women visit home, the husband literally runs away from the living room into the bedroom until the wife should call him, come, greet the people. After greeting, the husband goes back. When the women go, then he comes in the sitting room. That is another overdose, using
So
charms.
the charm is that he shouldn't see other women.
He should not interact with other women. Now that
Such
is...
a one would not even work, Doc.
Yes, it works.
I mean, as in him working, because he's supposed to interact with the...
Oh yeah, that's slavery. Actually, it's like you are now, your brain is washed away. You do not have your own individuality.
I know this is not our topic really, but Doc, if that be the case, would one be comfortable and say, I'm being loved by my partner when you administer such things?
No, that amounts to murder. Of course, even in some provinces, we have heard of stories whereby a man uses concoctions so that if you move out with somebody's wife, you sleep with somebody's wife, you won't come out. You'll be locked until you go to the hospital, until the man himself
Releases you.
and do
Yes.
the charms. That's when you come out. But the end result, you are finished, you are dead. So there are such things in this world where the devil is still alive. By the way, the devil is not yet dead.
Oh, yeah.
So these things happen. And so the other primitive way that others use in resolving conflicts is using regrets and threats. Someone says, I wish I knew this is how you are. Or if only I had known. Those are regrets. Or threats. If you don't change, better pack and go. Others use ultimatums. I just give you 1 month. If this behavior does not change, we are parting company. Now, those are negative ways. Some is open fire. You call your village headman, your counselor, your cousins, your parents. It's just in public. And then the man narrates his ordeal, the wife as well. Then they cancel you. Now, that is washing dead linen in public. And such issues are not concluded in a better way. Another one is that of prayer. This is commonly used by Christians. There is a problem, but you want to resort to prayer. Now, prayer is very important, and it can solve a lot of problems. But not everything requires prayer. You have to talk first, resolve the issue. Don't use prayer as a cover-up. You know you have been unfaithful, you know you have been doing this and that, you just want to blanket your partner and say, let's pray about it. No, it's not right. You have to talk. So this is why today we need to look at fruitful ways of how you can manage conflict. I think number one point in managing conflict is to identify the problem.
Identify the problem.
Why are we fighting? Where is the problem?
Who is the problem?
Who is the problem? Where is it coming from? Identify the problem. You know, it reminds me of a story of a couple that was driving. As they were driving, the husband says, oh, sweetheart, look at this house. It looks cute. But I wish the veranda was this other side. Then the wife said, no, honey, the way the house is just okay. Because us ladies, we don't want the kitchen to be on the western direction because of the heat of the sun. And the husband chipped in and said, no, what I'm saying is a point. You know, I did architectural engineering. I understand these things. Then the wife also comes in forcefully. Yes, I've never gone for any degree concerning architectural engineering, but I've lived in a house throughout my years. I'm able to identify the best house. The issue was tensed up until both of them decided to keep quiet. And he parked the vehicle. Until the
When it's not
husband...
even their house.
Yes. And then the husband said, oh,
Why are we fighting?
I don't even know the owner of the house. I don't even know the circumstances that led the owner to build the house in this manner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So when you are about to solve a problem, identify the problem. What is the problem?
But wouldn't that be a problem enough then? Because if you know that there is a problem, he is a problem, the problem is fueled by relatives and all that, and you think now that is actually receipt for adding salt to the wound.
Well, identifying the problem is critical in that it will help you to fix the problem.
Okay.
You just have to fix the problem if you want it resolved.
Okay.
So, identify the problem. What's the problem? A, B, C, D. And that also entails that you don't fix marriage problems by avoiding them.
Explain.
You know, I read something on WhatsApp.
Okay.
That the guy was watering a garden. And the wife comes downstairs. Sweetheart, is this your phone? Said, oh yes. I've seen 2 strange messages in this phone. I want you, after watering the garden, we sit down and talk. The rains came. The guy was still watering the garden. Meaning, the guy was scared to go and fix the problem. Now, you can't kill conflict by avoiding it. You have to take the bull by its horns, because problems in marriage don't evaporate. So identify the problem.
Right.
Another thing which is critical is choose the best time to resolve your problem. Best time. When you know that your partner is hungry, he did not eat, he easily becomes angry. First of all, let your partner settle down, understand his mood. Someone is tired, someone is tensed up. That's when you want to ask about bank balances. That's when you want to ask about this and that. Even if an issue is small, because of wrong timing, it will grow. Also, choose the best place. Not when you are driving, you are busy quarreling, or in the presence of other people, or in the presence of your children. You are busy pushing each other. You are in a ShopRite. You are busy quarreling, pinching. No. Choose the right time and the right place. Then your problem is likely to be discussed in a very conducive atmosphere. Apart from that, stick to the issue at hand. You know, there is a tendency among couples, because of this problem, they want to bring other unrelated problems to this issue. They want to bring the issue of finances. They want to think of in-laws. They want to talk about ZESCO bills. They want to talk about the grandmother. A small thing ends up what? Big. So,
but is it easy to avoid making reference to other things
in
the spirit of resolving a conflict?
Yeah, if the issue is related to the current issue, fine. But if that issue was resolved, why bring it on the table? It will just tear you apart. It will just injure you. There are some people who even have notebooks. This day they quarrel, they write. This day they quarrel, they write in the notebook. Okay. When the day to discuss comes, because of maybe late meals, they want to bring issues of Zambia Bank, they want to bring Stanbic issues, they want to bring ZESCO issues, and the issue will grow. because you have no perimeters. So as a couple, even when you are angry, guard yourself from spreading everywhere.
So in other words, you are saying the best way to resolve a conflict, number one, is to identify and know that it's a problem.
Yes.
And then face it head on.
Yes.
Okay, and then you are saying stick to one issue at hand.
Yes.
So if it's sticking to one issue at hand, Doc, it simply means every issue that arises has to be solved then.
Correct. Don't actually keep banking issues. There will be no interest. When an issue comes, fix it quickly.
Let's begin from there.
Yes.
Let's just now take a break. This is Love Therapy. Today we are discussing how to manage conflicts in a relationship setup, in a marriage setup, in whatever family relationship that we can talk about. How do we handle or how do we manage such a problem? For now, let's take a break. Be back on the other side. Don't go away.
Are you looking for information on marriage or tips on how to enjoy your marriage? Then look no further. ZAP has exactly what you need. We have a book that is just right for you.
The book, Enjoy Your Marriage, is written with an African touch to give you what is expected of an African marriage. You know, marriage can only be enjoyed according to a given environment. So the book, Enjoy Your Marriage, covers a lot of topics that meet the Zambian consumer, that meets the African marriage. It talks about pillars in marriage. What is important to do as you choose your marriage partner? In this book, you are going to discover the common challenges that a couple goes through. It will help you to resolve marriage conflicts in a smart way. The same book gives you some concepts, some practical steps that you need to undertake in order to resolve marriage conflicts in a smart way. In this book, you are going to discover how to manage your life in the bedroom as a couple.
So come through to our offices for our limited copies of Enjoy Your Marriage for you and your loved ones at only 150 kwacha each, or call 0978 44 7469 to get your copy. Hurry, hurry.
Thank you so much for still staying with us, and obviously that message is coming from our sponsors on this particular program. Many thanks. Now, today we are discussing how best we can manage conflicts in a relationship setup, how we can manage conflicts in a smart way, and I think that's what has been said here. I did pose a question just before we went on a break, whether conflicts should be resolved as they happen, or maybe you read the situation and say, so we can solve the problem. Is that the best way to go about it?
Yeah,
Since it's one issue at a time.
Common sense is critically important in resolving conflicts.
Right.
You know each other, you know the mood of your partner. You know the issue that is outstanding. So it calls for wisdom to know when to bring that issue. Not when you are just about to eat food. That's when you bring issues. You put your friend off. Eat, relax, depending on the sensitivity of an issue. Some issues you can defer, say maybe later. Some issues you defer them, they'll eat you up. You have ulcers, high blood pressure. Everything triggers. If you are hypertensive, don't wait for too long. Choose good time, resolve them. But then, when you are fond of bringing this issue, you keep. Another issue comes, you keep. Another issue comes, you keep. You are going to blow up one day.
Could it be that some issues maybe are too insignificant that when it happens then you want to talk about it? And maybe wait for a bigger issue, and when it comes now begin to make reference?
If it's a small issue and doesn't affect you anyhow, sometimes you wink. Just ignore. Be professionals and move on. But there are issues that you can ignore that are eating you up.
Right.
You're ignoring this issue, that issue is eating you up. And in the process, marriage is affected. It's these small little foxes that destroy the big vine, according to Solomon.
Yeah.
So the best is, assess the situation. Is this an issue to bring to the table? Or is this an issue you can just talk as a by the way? But if there are issues, for example, issues of infidelity, whether you want it or not, it will affect the other partner. And you just have to talk. Issues of suspicion, bring it out. I see this and this and this. What is happening? Then,
But the person you are telling reacts violently and say, join any shit, I can't do this.
yeah, brother, there are people who react that way. But if you are innocent, why react? And if you are wrong, why get angry?
Why get angry?
Just face the facts and discuss them and resolve them. So in other words, what is critically important is to stick to the issue at hand and move on. In the same vein, the other issue is to listen to your partner's point of view.
Right.
God created 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we do much listening than talking. So when an issue comes up, listen. I heard one of my favorite pastors tell us a story of how a couple went to meet the pastor for counseling. And the husband spoke for 1 hour, blaming the wife. And then, after 1 hour, the pastor said, let's give chance to your wife. And the wife clears her throat and said, thank you, pastor. The husband from nowhere jumps in. She is lying. Meanwhile, the wife simply says, thank you, pastor. So, it's important to listen. Most people listen with the intent. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand the mate. They listen with the intent to respond. To reply. How will I defend? They are just waiting to defend themselves. Now, the best art of listening is to put yourself in your partner's shoes. Understand your mate. Here is your husband who is saying, honey, I don't eat breakfast when I go for work. I have no lunch. I only depend on supper. I knock off 18 hours, I'm home. But I end up eating at 22 hours. Is there a way that supper can be ready on time? If you are a listening spouse, you won't say, you have hands, you can also cook. Is it a fact that your husband does not have breakfast and lunch? Yes, it is. Is it true meals are prepared at 22? Yes. Is it possible that meals can be ready at 18 hours? Yes. Simply say, okay, honey, I hear you.
Let's adjust.
We'll work on that one. Sorry, I'm going to work on that. Then it's challenging your partner who has a valid point.
Listening is critical, like you are indicating, Doc. Listening becomes very critical. But now that you've even put it, that majority of us listen with intent to speak.
And to defend ourselves.
Exactly. I did post a few weeks ago on Facebook. I said the person that was caught in the act of adultery, that was taken to Jesus, was not the one that said, if you have not sinned, be the first one to cast the stone. I think the reason I was writing that is because majority of us, when we are in the wrong, we want to also magnify other people's wrongs, as though we are saying we need to justify our wrongs, we need to justify our correction, our incorrectness, so that everyone can feel the guilt to say they are equally on the wrong side. But then if we listened, like you are putting it, with intent to make corrections, you would not look at the other person's problems. You first look at your own sins, your own weaknesses, and then you move in that direction. Now that you talk about listening, majority in these homes, we have a situation where the members call it chochise. I speak, you speak, I speak, you speak, and all that. Does this help in resolving a conflict? Our attempt when I am talking and she is talking is to resolve a problem, but we are talking, all of us at the same time. Is that the best way that we are going to handle, to manage conflict?
No, the best way to handle conflict is that do not talk at the same time. Moreover, between the two of you, one is older than the other.
It's obvious.
One is the head of the house, the other one is the neck of the house.
Yeah.
Of course, the husband is the head. Though some husbands, instead of being heads, they are headaches. And the wives are considered to be the neck. And the neck has power to turn the head where it should face.
Yeah.
So who has power? Both of you have power. So what is important is, when there is an issue in your relationship, do not talk at the same time. Do not be at par. If your tempers flare, both of you, you are not going to resolve an issue amicably. One of you should tone it down. Or look at the best time. Sometimes people have pressures. Maybe pressure at work, pressure somewhere, and you just want to blow off over a small thing.
But it's usually small things that are blown off.
Yeah. They are blown off. If both of you are talking, who will listen?
No one.
And if, for example, here is a husband who was caught in adultery.
Right.
And the issue is discussed and resolved. And here is the wife. She is also caught in what? Adultery. The husband is talking, then the wife can say, even you. Even what?
Even you.
You are also guilty. Now, you are now competing.
Yeah.
Of course, the point is, when there's an issue at hand, look at that issue. Don't bring past issues to intimidate your mate or to shut up your mate so that he or she has no power to talk over an issue. Or here you are, the wife is there at home, the husband has a child outside wedlock.
Wedlock, yeah.
And then the wife puts a remark like, some of us don't have children outside wedlock. Already that is provocative. Now, as you resolve a conflict,
The righteous one.
yes, as you resolve a conflict, guard yourselves from hitting each other, from provoking your partner, or you just want to bring an issue your partner did as to bring him down. I think you are not helping the situation. Stick to the issue at hand, listen to your partner's point of view, and do not talk at the same time. This also brings us to another premise.
Okay.
When we are resolving conflicts, keep issues to yourselves. A thing has erupted in your home. Some people, you see them overreacting. They change the profile photo. on WhatsApp, on Facebook. Everyone at home will know the master or the mistress are both angry. Even dependents and even the dogs will know that today ni ZTP, Zabwino Paribe. You find those conflicts because people are just angry. So when an issue happens, keep issues to yourselves. Don't rush to tell your aunt, your parents, your sisters, everyone. And you know what happens in marriage?
Yeah.
An issue divides you. The whole day you'll be tensed up, maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
It's resolved. And you are together. But meanwhile, you were careless yourself. You went to tell the church elder, you went to tell the pastor, you went to tell your neighbor, you went to tell your auntie, and everyone is there. But along the way, the issue is what? Resolved. Are you going back to those people?
To inform them that actually things have been resolved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just mess yourself up.
But up to what time should somebody think of involving a third party if the advice here is that people should keep their issues within themselves?
You involve a third party when you reach the dead end. You have discussed, you are failing to agree. Your partner is not seeing your sense, and vice versa. Then at that stage, you can either decide, okay, let's keep quiet on this matter, depending on the nature and sensitivity. Or you can say, the two of us have failed. We may need a third party. Who can we call? Again, you don't just call your friend. Don't call someone who is going to support you. The two of you must agree. I think in this matter, instead of us going to our family members, we'll just mess ourselves up. Everyone in the family is going to know about it. So let's go for this one. But you have to be careful. You may be involving an individual to fix your problem who has worse problems than yours, except that he has not told you.
Yeah.
Get someone who is professionally sound, who is able to, who has confidentiality, who is able to protect you, than those you will tell them your problem, you hear it on the hilltop. So be able to engage someone which both of you agree to, that we must have this person come and help us. Once the two of you agree, then it's okay to go ahead. Otherwise, keep issues to yourselves. Don't show everyone that you have a problem. You know, there's this Senate, Charles Chaplin.
Yes.
Once upon a time, he sat on the USA Senate and he wrote and said, I like walking in the rains because no one sees my tears. I like that statement. I love walking in the rains because no one sees my tears. Don't think those who are married, they don't have problems. There are many others who are going through pain, who are going through suffering, but they are not telling everyone. Of course, you don't have to keep pain to yourself for too long. It will hurt you. You have to speak out and resolve, but in a proper way. And then you can move on.
The aspect of telling somebody or not telling somebody based on the fact that they have issues of their own equally is valid. But then one could just be wondering and say, Doc, look here, in as much as we are saying all this, there are times when you just need an ear to hear you out. That way you feel relieved. If that were to happen, and if it is permissible, who is the best to see in order for them to know about your situation and maybe provide a solution? Is it a relative? Is it from the church? Is it from the workplace? Who just is the right person, in your own opinion?
Well, in my opinion, when there is a problem, traditionally, there are marriage counselors.
Okay.
Where if it's a bedroom issue, they would rather refer that person to a marriage counselor who counseled you before you married.
Mm-hmm.
But what if that person is dead or is far away from your residence? What do? You're in trouble. So the best is, within your given environment, you are able to identify trustworthy persons who you can confide in. Because it's not everyone that you are going to tell.
Right.
There could be a family member who could be more trustworthy, or there could be pastors who are well gifted in that area, or elders, or your neighbor. In other words, it's not everyone that you can go to.
So you have to be selective.
You have to be selective. Somebody who can help you.
Okay. There is something that happens, Doc, whenever there's a conflict. We have always been told a man, almost always, even when they are not wrong, they are the ones that say sorry.
Who says sorry all the time?
A man.
Oh.
Man is forced to apologize, even when they are not wrong, for the sake of peace. Is it a brilliant idea anyway, generally speaking, for one to come
move
out
on
and say, well, I'm sorry, even when they are not the ones that are wrong, giving in, so to speak?
I think saying sorry when you are not sorry is flattery.
Just hold it there. Saying sorry when you're not sorry is flattery. We are discussing how to manage conflicts, and today Dr. Chunga is fired up to make us all realize that a problem can be resolved as long as two parties are willing to have it resolved. But just now, let's take a break.
Are you looking for information on marriage or tips on how to enjoy your marriage? Then look no further. ZAP has exactly what you need. We have a book that is just right for you.
The book, Enjoy Your Marriage, is written with an African touch to give you what is expected of an African marriage. You know, marriage can only be enjoyed according to a given environment. So the book, Enjoy Your Marriage, covers a lot of topics that meet the Zambian consumer, that meets the African marriage. It talks about pillars in marriage, what is important to do as you choose your marriage partner. In this book, you are going to discover the common challenges that a couple goes through. It will help you to resolve marriage conflicts in a smart way. The same book gives you some concepts, some practical steps that you need to undertake in order to resolve marriage conflicts in a smart way. In this book, you are going to discover how to manage your life in the bedroom as a couple.
So come through to our offices for our limited copies of Enjoy Your Marriage for you and your loved ones at only 150 kwacha each, or call 0978 447469 to get your copy. Hurry while stock lasts.
Thank you so much for still staying with us, and we are now in the last part of our program today, managing conflicts, how to manage conflicts. That's what we are discussing today, and when we went on a break, we were looking at the question that is probing to see whether or not it is okay for the sake of peace to say, I am sorry. But Dr. Chunga said, saying sorry when you are not sorry is flattery. Dr. Chunga.
Yes, sir. honestly speaking, you just want to say, I'm sorry when you are not sorry. It's not genuine, and you are just saying that to move on. But that's not fixing a story, the issue. Sometimes you're even better off being silent than saying sorry.
Doc, you are lighting a fire that we cannot quench. I mean,
Yes.
we have seen that some people have moved on in life peacefully, and maybe they are admired by many because there is one who has mastered the art of saying sorry even when they're not wrong.
Well, when you say, I'm sorry, you are basically regretting for doing that thing. And if you are not regretting, then you are not sincere. And if you are not sincere, then you are bluffing on your partner. I think to say sorry when you are real, no, you did not take the money for food away. You didn't steal that money, but you are simply saying, I'm sorry for taking that money. That's what you are saying. And you are not you. But tomorrow, the money is found. How will your partner look at you? Say, but why were you sorry? So you are the one who did this. So in other words, sorry is a very, very heavy word.
Okay.
When you say sorry, it must come deep from your heart that you regret for your actions. You are sorry not just to move on because you probably are a husband, you want sex. Let me just say sorry. Icon. You must be genuinely repentant of what has happened. You are sorry, you regret, and you are part of the causer to that problem. So you are saying, I'm sorry for causing this. But if you are not...
Maybe if the idea... Okay, maybe if you are not...
Maybe the best way, instead of saying I'm sorry when you are not sorry, is basically to use a term that in a conflict we say you compromise.
Compromise, okay.
If you can't agree, just a compromise. You have 5,000 kwacha. And the husband say, there's UEFA tournament. We need to buy a new TV. But the wife said, no, we need to buy a small refrigerator. You have two opinions. The husband says, TV, fridge. You vote, it's one vote, one vote. So what do? Then you easily give in. Say, okay, for the sake of food, I think let's buy the fridge. We'll buy the TV later.
Isn't that a weakness?
No. You are compromising in order to move on. Now, compromise is giving in when the principle is not at stake.
Okay.
You are just giving in order to move on. And that's where it comes in. Instead of saying sorry when you are not sorry, I think compromise is the best policy, where you say, okay, look here, I think we can go this way without breaking any bond. In the book of Genesis chapter 13, Abraham and Lot were fighting over grazing land. The headsmen of Abraham and the headsmen of Lot were at each other's throat. And there was no peace, there was strife. Until Abraham comes on the scene and talks to his nephew. Look here, we are brothers. We have come all the way from Haran. Why should we fight here? Look here. If you choose to go to the right,
I'll go to the left.
I'll go to the left. And if you choose to go to the left, I'll go to the right. That is compromise. You are losing nothing, but you want this thing to move on. So I think it's a good policy in a home. When you give in as a husband, you want to lose your beards. You want to lose your breasts as a wife. And more also, when you always give in, let your partner be considerate. That it's all the time it's my husband giving in, let me also give in. And then marriage goes on. You move on. You don't have to fight when a principle is not at stake. Some things you can do or you cannot do.
I did bring up the aspect of saying sorry, really, before you even brought in the aspect of compromising,
Yes.
giving in for the sake of your partner. It's not about you, it's about your partner. And if that be the case, I still feel when one has learned how to say sorry, it will potentially solve the situation.
Correct. You know, someone put it in this way. It is better to lose your pride to the one you love than to lose the one you love because of pride. Profound statement.
Very, very profound.
Sometimes we are too proud. And in our pride, we lose a relationship. We lose our partners. So sometimes it's just good to say sorry. Sometimes it's just to say, let's just compromise. Go this way, go this way. Or you are fighting for my pillow. Okay, get my pillow. Let me get your pillow, since you are saying it's your pillow.
That reminds me of a time that we were getting on a mean bus. And then, you know, I don't know when last you were on a bus. If you are using these smaller ones, the highest, the first chair usually goes through up to the door.
Yes.
And then they love putting a stool or something.
Yes.
So that there will be 4 people sitting in that front seat.
Instead of 3.
Instead of 3. Then one person sat on, there were 3 already sitting, and this other one who was at the far end is coming to the other stool that has been added. And then he said, "Stingangale vatatu hapa, kampando akanikangono. So I have to sit here, you can't add another person." And then the conductor, he didn't want to argue with the gentleman.
Passenger.
And so he just said, "Oh, okay. Akampando nikavene. Nekani nikachose. Guy, nitengere ukampanda kavazaka peza veni." And then when he moved the chair, this man squeezed himself where they're supposed to be 3. And then he brought back the chair and told the 4th person to sit there. So sometimes it's just by removing a particular thing, and then peace is restored.
Correct. Your husband wants supper at 18 hours, but you want to fight. You want to fight by providing supper at 22 hours. No, just 17 hours. Start cooking. Set the table.
If you are late, let it be 19.
Yeah, maybe 18 hours he arrives, food is on the table.
Yeah.
Quiet. Problem fixed.
So now that you brought in the aspect of pride, could this be that the reason why sometimes we've gone all the way into having conflicts not resolved is as a result of one not willing to come down?
Yes. By the way, if you as a husband, you know for sure that you have done it wrong, just say, "I'm sorry." Okay. Because when your partner discovers you are refusing, maybe here is your wife goes to the woman and said, "You are flirting with this woman. You are going out with my husband." No, it's him who has been insisting. She agrees. But coming to you, say there's nothing in between. But when you say, "I'm sorry, madam, this has happened. Forgive me."
Never repeat it.
Yes, it's painful, but you have solved the issue once and for all. So when you are sorry over some misgiving, there is a way it just brings you down. Yes, you shed tears. Yes, you cry. But you have fixed the problem once and for all. So along with that, as you resolve marriage conflicts, it is critically important to be mindful of words. Words can build a relationship, and words can destroy a relationship. When there is a problem, don't be vulgar. You know, words are building blocks of a relationship. You can say something, but if you say it in a wrong way, even if it's a good thing, it will be bad. Words are like arrows. They can kill, they can pierce a relationship. So we just have to guard ourselves when it comes to using words. For example, in the Bible, Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath.
Yeah.
And in the book of Proverbs 18 verse 21, the Bible is also clear that the tongue has power of life and what? Death. The tongue has power of life and death. And in the same Proverbs 15 verse 1, a gentle answer turns away what? Wrath. Here is a violent man. And here's a cool wife. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, cool down, baby. Understand, cool down. And you feel embarrassed. Because some people want to agitate a situation so that you're also caught up. No, don't agree.
That's failing to reason.
Yeah, don't agree to be abused.
Calm down.
You be yourself.
Yeah. When one is up, the other one should be down.
There are times when people can use words like, you are a dog. But you yourself, you know.
No, you're not a dog.
You don't have
So
a
why-
tail. You don't have legs.
But somebody said, when you say what I don't have, you've insulted me, I'll beat you.
Oh yes, if your mind tells you you need to be angry, just be angry. By the way, there was something politically.
Okay.
That word which our Republican president, they said UPNDs are what? I've forgotten that part. Not
Praise
idiots.
singers.
Yeah, there's another term. Okay, aside. Remove that when you edit. But the point is, sometimes someone can use something negative against you. But if you know yourself,
Yeah.
if your self-esteem is intact, whether they call you a donkey, a dog, a chicken, you know yourself. You know what you are.
I think I'm trying to now understand what you are trying to say, as in somebody calls you, in the case of the president, Kachema.
Yeah.
And then he comes and says, Kachema Musuma.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
When somebody expected that you are going to explode, you simply buy into what they
Yeah,
are
that's-
saying
yes.
and then allow them to now realize that, ooh, I'm actually,
Yeah.
what I meant for bad.
Yeah.
But he has received it for good.
Once upon a time, toward the elections, they used to call our president Bali fix. I thought he was going to react to that, but he embraced it,
Yeah.
and it became a slogan.
Yeah.
So really, there are some things you have to be angry about. You know, even us, we have nicknames. I didn't know that I had a nickname among my children until one of them, my cousin, my brother-in-law, looked at this is how they call you.
Yeah.
I was pastoring on a copper belt.
Okay.
Little did I know that the young ministers gave me a nickname. Very positive nickname, which I won't disclose for security reasons.
I wanted to know it, Doc, but
the
anyway, it's fine.
Yeah, the point
Yeah.
is, there are some partners who are very mischievous.
Oh, yeah.
They just want to agitate the situation. Maybe they have certain hidden motives.
Yeah.
Just provoke you
So that you react.
so that you react.
There is a couple, Doc, sorry to cut you short, but there is a couple where this woman was always looking for a way of angering the husband, so that if he reacts and maybe a fight ensues, then she'll have a reason to leave.
Yeah.
But this man, each time the woman tries this,
Yeah.
he lowers himself to a point where no conflict begins. She reached at a point where she even said, I have tried, but I think you're such a good man.
Yeah.
And I don't see the reason why I should leave you, because every time I tried to provoke you, you were becoming an angel. Instead of fighting back, things were getting better. Let's talk about...
You know what I've learned? In life, sometimes, even when an issue is hot, sometimes you just learn to keep quiet.
Keep quiet.
There is power. There is volume in silence.
They say silence is golden.
True. It's not always that you have to babble. It's not always that your weight must be felt. It's not always that you have to have wrinkles.
But there are some of us, Doc, that we are known for talking anyway. So if we are to talk, how much attention should we pay to the kind of words that we use?
Well, there are those who don't talk can be dangerous in a relationship. Those who don't talk, Baba, the moment they speak,
it's painful.
It's a volcano.
Yeah.
Sometimes those who talk, they make noise. At least you can come to a point. But all in all, we are talking about words.
Yes.
Avoid words to your partner. Shut up. I wish I knew. If only I had known. Those are negative words. Go to hell. Upon my dead body, I don't care. Those are negative words. But there are words that can build a relationship. Words like, thank you, I'm sorry, forgive me. Those words are critical.
Sure.
And another important element in resolving conflicts is that before you change your partner,
Change yourself.
change yourself.
Amen.
That's a golden rule.
Amen.
Do to others what you expect others to do to you.
That's right.
Do to your husband what you expect your husband to do to you, and vice versa. So please, before you change yourself, before you change your partner, change yourself. And you cannot change your partner. It's only God who can change our behaviors, not human. You can fight, but you won't change the heart. So it's critically important that before you change your mate, change yourself.
Change yourself. Conflicts, are they good or bad for a relationship?
No, conflicts are very positive.
Okay.
They will teach you to know what your partner does not like.
Right.
Conflicts, if well managed, they will help you to make adjustments.
Okay.
My wife doesn't want me to come home late.
Yeah.
Let me adjust. So conflicts, if are well done, can build a home. And conflicts also portray a reality that we are not perfect. We are sinful human beings.
That's right.
It is for this reason. Matthew chapter 5 verse 9 says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons and daughters of God.
Amen.
So the question to you, my friends, are you a peacemaker in your home? Or you are a troublemaker? In Romans chapter 12 verse 18, it says, if it is possible, as much as possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men.
Amen.
Peace is critical
Very critical.
in a relationship. And peace can only come because it's a fruit of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Peace can be in your home when the two of you are committed to each other and to God. Unless the Lord builds the house.
Hallelujah.
In Psalm 127 verse 1, they labor in vain that build it. If you are building without God, you are building in vain. So sometimes when conflicts arise, every time there are turbulences, there are storms, sit down, check your spiritual thermometer. Something is missing. You need to be connected to God. When your life is connected to God, even the way you relate to your husband, to your wife, will be peaceful.
Amen.
Sometimes we have spiritual cracks. We have stones within ourselves that are bring about these impediments to peace, joy, and love in a marriage.
Amen. Doc, thank you so much. I have learned something here.
Great.
And if ever there is something that we need to take as it comes and handle it just the way it has come, is the idea of a conflict that has been identified and efforts are made by the people involved to resolve the conflict. It's not every conflict, if I followed you correctly, that is meant to put everyone asunder. Thank you so much for your time, Doc.
We praise God.
We hope to see you again next week at the same time.
Thank you.
There we have it. Today we have discussed how to manage conflicts in our homes. Conflicts will always be there, but it doesn't mean it's the end of our union. But conflicts provides a learning curve where you and me will resolve what we thought was right, when in fact not. So conflicts are lessons that we need to learn about our partners and ourselves. The desire is to see homes that stand the test of time. Always remember that God's desire is to see a little heaven in our homes. We wish you well, we wish you peace. Get in touch with us should you need anything. I'm Bright Sinkos on behalf of Dr. Chunga, my guest. Until next time, at the same time, God bless and bye for now.